Do you ever find yourself just, bouncing between tasks all day long? Like you're trying to draft an email, but Slack is buzzing.
Yeah.
Maybe you're half listening to a meeting while you're scrolling through headlines.
Oh, definitely. That sounds familiar.
You feel utterly swamped, right?
Yeah.
Totally exhausted by the end of the day, maybe.
Absolutely. Busy. Definitely busy.
And we tend to think that busyness means we're being productive. But what if that feeling of juggling everything is actually, well, just an illusion?
It's such a common feeling, isn't it, in, the modern world? We're sort of conditioned to think that handling multiple things at once is a skill, efficiency even.
Right, like it's a badge of honor.
But the research we've been looking at, it paints a really different picture of how our brains actually handle all that.
Exactly. And that's what this deep dive is all about, unpacking that for you. We're going to explore the fascinating science behind why our minds aren't really built for that constant switching, and then look at the surprising power mentally, even physically, of focusing on just one thing. It can mean less stress, way more effective results.
And even unlock that amazing state of, total absorption.
Yeah, that feeling. We've pulled together insights from psychology, neuroscience, even practical productivity stuff.
Yeah, it gives a pretty comprehensive view of what's happening upstairs when we try to juggle and, what the alternative really offers.
So our mission today: challenge some assumptions, understand the real cognitive cost of being constantly busy, and then give you practical, actionable ways to actually use the power of focus in your life. Okay, let's get into it.
Right. So first off, we really need to tackle that big myth that multitasking is some kind of superpower.
Yeah, the idea that we can do it all at once.
The science is actually pretty clear. The human brain doesn't truly multitask, not in the way we usually think about it anyway.
Wait, really? Not at all. But I swear I can walk and chew gum, or listen to music while I fold laundry.
Okay, fair point. Some very automated tasks, things you don't have to think much about, like walking or maybe even chewing.
Right.
Those can happen alongside more conscious thought. But when we're talking about tasks that need actual brain power, writing, analyzing something, really listening.
Like work stuff.
Exactly. Your brain isn't doing them simultaneously. What it's actually doing is rapidly task switching.
Okay. So it's like flicking between browser tabs really fast, not running two programs at the same time.
That's a great analogy. It's this constant toggling of your attention. You start the email, then ping, respond to Slack, then back to the email, then, oh wait, I need to check that number for the report.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
And there's a real cost to that constant back and forth, a cognitive cost.
And the sources really highlight that burden, don't they? What parts of the brain are getting overloaded?
It puts heavy demands on the networks involved in executive function. So things like setting goals, filtering out distractions, planning, shifting attention.
The important stuff.
Right. Often linked to the prefrontal cortex, parts of the frontoparietal system. It's like you're forcing your brain to constantly slam on the brakes and then floor it in a new direction.
That sounds exhausting just thinking about it.
Yeah.
And the consequences aren't just feeling tired, are they? The research points to actual drops in performance.
Big time. The list is pretty long.
Yeah.
You perform tasks slower, you make significantly more errors.
Oh dear.
Mental fatigue hits faster, your memory recall suffers, overall accuracy goes down, and you just feel more cognitive strain, more stress, basically.
Wow.
There was one study, it tracked people on complex tasks when they were interrupted and had to switch context just a few times an hour.
Just a few times.
Yeah. Their effective output dropped by nearly half.
Half. Seriously.
Yep. And the researchers put it down to the mental effort of just stopping, resetting, and re-engaging with the original task each time.
That 40% productivity loss figure I saw suddenly feels very, very real. It's not just being busy, it's being actively inefficient.
Precisely. Your brain burns energy every single time it has to reorient itself. That switching cost adds up incredibly quickly.
I saw something interesting in the material. Someone mentioned feeling like they need to multitask to stay focused. Like they get bored or daydreamy if they only do one thing. How does that fit in? It feels kind of backward compared to what we're saying.
That's a really great point, actually. It touches on this idea of arousal levels or stimulation needs. For some people, their brain might just need a higher level of input, more processing to stay engaged. So that rapid switching, even though it's inefficient for getting things done,
Right.
it feels like it's providing that buzz, that stimulation needed to keep boredom or mind wandering at bay. They might perceive it as staying focused, but it's really the brain just seeking enough input.
So it's not necessarily about lacking willpower to just buckle down. It might be about their specific brain's wiring for engagement.
That's a key takeaway, I think. Our attention control center, the prefrontal cortex, it has limits. It's easily distracted. It's less about being weak and more about understanding and working with our own neurological setup.
Okay, that makes sense. Our brains prefer focused work, but life pulls us everywhere.
Right. External pressures, internal wiring.
Yeah.
It can all push us towards fragmentation.
Okay, so multitasking is mostly this costly task switching. What's the powerful alternative you mentioned earlier? What happens when we manage to just focus? This is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah, this is where we get into the concept of flow. It's a term the psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi studied and wrote a lot about.
Flow, like being in the zone.
Exactly, or locked in, that feeling of deep absorption in something.
I've heard people talk about that. Athletes, artists, coders, maybe. It sounds almost magical, like time just melts away.
It really can feel like that. Flow is basically a mental state where you have this energized focus, you're fully immersed, and you're actually enjoying the activity intensely. You get so absorbed that other things just fade into the background, and yeah, your sense of time can get pretty warped.
But hang on, you said earlier our brains have limited processing power. How can we have this intense focus then? Wouldn't that limit work against it?
But that's the fascinating part. That limitation is actually what makes flow possible.
Really? How?
Well, Csikszentmihalyi estimated our conscious mind can handle about, say, 110 bits of information per second. Just understanding someone talking takes maybe 40 to 60 bits.
Okay.
When you're in flow, in that deep focus state, you're essentially directing almost all of that limited capacity, all 110 bits, onto one single thing. There's just no bandwidth left for stray thoughts, worries, distractions. Your attention is completely captured by what you're doing. That creates the intense concentration.
Wow. Okay. So it's like using a laser beam instead of a floodlight, focusing all the power in one spot. That's a great way to put it. What does it actually feel like when you're in flow? What are the signs?
The research points to a few key things. First, intense, focused concentration right here, right now. Second, this merging of action and awareness. You're not thinking about doing it, you're just doing it seamlessly.
Like being on autopilot, but in a good way.
Kind of, yeah. Third, that inner critic tends to shut up. You lose self-consciousness. You're not worried about how you look or if you're messing up.
Nice.
Fourth, a strong sense of control over what you're doing. Fifth, time gets weird hours feel like minutes, or vice versa.
Definitely experienced that before.
And crucially, the activity itself feels rewarding. You're doing it because the process is enjoyable, not just for the end result. That's called an autotelic experience, self-rewarding.
Okay, that sounds like the dream state. But can you just switch it on?
Yeah.
Or does it require specific conditions?
There's a critical condition.
Yeah.
Think of it as hitting the sweet spot. Flow happens when the challenges of the task feel balanced with your skills to handle those challenges.
Challenge versus skill.
Okay, if the task is too easy for your skill level, you get bored.
Yeah, zone out.
But if it's way too hard, you get anxious, overwhelmed.
Definitely felt that too.
The zone is right in the middle. Difficult enough to demand your full attention and keep you engaged, but not so hard you feel lost. It just pulls you in.
Does this link back to that person who gets bored easily? Can flow provide a different kind of stimulation for them?
Absolutely it can. For a brain that craves that higher arousal, diving deep into the details, the nuances, the unfolding challenges within one single task can provide exactly that stimulation.
So it's deep stimulation, not shallow switching.
Precisely. Instead of jumping between easy things, you're engaging deeply with one complex thing, constantly processing, adjusting. That intense processing within the task can be super absorbing and stimulating, tapping into that same mechanism that creates flow, like focusing on the fine details of a craft or solving a tricky problem.
Okay, this is really clicking now.
Yeah.
Multitasking equals inefficient switching. Single focus unlocks flow, which feels great and gets results.
Yeah.
So the big question, how can you, listening right now, actually move away from the switching habit and start cultivating more focus?
Right, let's get practical. These are the science-backed strategies we found in the sources. They take practice, but they can make a real difference.
First one seems foundational. Time blocking or deep work blocks.
Yes, this is huge. It means literally scheduling blocks of time in your calendar to work on only one specific task or type of task.
Like scheduling a meeting, but with yourself for focus.
Exactly. You block out maybe 90 minutes for report writing or an hour for strategic planning. No interruptions allowed during that block. It stops less important, urgent stuff from taking over.
And helps manage mental energy too, I bet.
Definitely. You protect your best focus time for your most important work.
Okay, I like that. Scheduling focus. What's next?
Identifying your most important task, or your MIT for the day.
Your MIT.
Yeah. Pick the one key thing that, if you get it done, makes the day feel successful. Decide on it the night before, if you can.
And then do it first.
Ideally, yes. Tackle it first thing, during your peak focus time, off in the morning for many people.
Why first?
Yeah.
What's the magic there?
Two things, really. Psychologically, finishing your big task early gives you a massive win. It closes that mental open loop that creates background anxiety.
It gets it off your mind.
Right. And practically, you're using your sharpest brain power for your most crucial work. It builds momentum for the rest of the day. One source mentioned high achievers often get their most valuable work done this way, first thing.
Okay. Structure with time blocking, priority with the MIT.
Yeah.
But what about, life?
Mm.
The constant pings and notifications.
Yes. Limiting distractions. This is non-negotiable, honestly.
Easier said than done.
It is,
Yeah.
but it means consciously deciding. Phone goes on silent, maybe even out of sight during focus blocks.
What?
Turn off notifications, especially from those apps designed to hook you.
Social media, nude alerts.
Yeah. The sources even suggest using apps or browser blockers that physically prevent you from accessing distracting sites for a set period. Sometimes that external enforcement helps.
Guilty as charged with the phone. It's like a magnet.
You're not alone. Beyond blocking external stuff, creating mindful rituals can also help.
Rituals, like a little routine before you start.
Exactly. Simple, repeatable cues that tell your brain, okay, it's focus time now. Could be 3 deep breaths, could be clearing your desk, maybe putting on specific instrumental music, like those binaural beats someone mentioned. Some find they help concentration.
Interesting. Like Pavlov for focus.
Sort of. It helps cultivate what some traditions call one-pointedness focused presence.
Okay, that makes sense. Building a trigger. What about burnout? You can't just focus intensely forever, right?
Absolutely not. Think of focus like a muscle. It needs rest to recover and get stronger.
So breaks are crucial.
Deliberate breaks, yes. Short breaks between focus blocks. Step away from the screen, stretch, walk around, listen to a song. It lets your brain reset and helps maintain concentration over the long haul. They're not lazy, they're necessary.
Got it. Rest is part of the work. And finally, something classic but very relevant. Delegation.
Right on. Your focused attention is precious. If you try to do everything, you're forced back into switching mode. So focus your deep work on tasks only you can or should do. Your unique skills, your key decisions. If someone else can do a task, let them. Delegate or outsource. Free up your best energy.
Okay, so if we pull all this together, the strategies, the understanding of flow, what are the big payoffs? It sounds like more than just ticking off a to-do list.
Oh, much more. Yes, you get increased productivity, better quality work, better performance, whether it's your job, learning something new, a sport.
Yeah.
But the sources really stress the broader impact. Greater satisfaction in the work itself, more enjoyment, and just overall better well-being.
And the stress reduction piece seems huge.
Very significant. Cutting down on that constant mental juggling, feeling pulled in a million directions, that directly lowers cognitive strain, mental fatigue, which are major drivers of stress and anxiety.
Like the sports study you mentioned. Flow equals less anxiety under pressure.
Exactly. When you're fully absorbed and feel capable, there's just less mental space available for worry.
So building this focus ability, it's like training. It takes time and effort.
It really is like strengthening a muscle. And interestingly, some research suggests certain personality traits help being curious, persistent, enjoying challenge. They call it an autotelic personality, finding reward in the activity itself. Making that conscious effort to direct your attention aligns with ideas like right effort in mindfulness, applying focused energy wisely.
So flow and deep focus sound incredibly beneficial. But are there any catches? Any downsides mentioned? It almost sounds too good.
That's a fair question. And yes, it's important to acknowledge potential downsides. Csikszentmihalyi himself talked about this. One risk is getting too absorbed.
Like neglecting other things.
Exactly. Neglecting relationships, health, other responsibilities if you're constantly chasing that flow state and not maintaining balance. It could even become potentially a bit addictive, using it to escape less pleasant realities.
Okay. So it's powerful, but needs context.
Precisely. It enriches life incredibly, but its value depends on being part of a balanced, engaged life overall, not just total absorption all the time.
That's a really important nuance. These are tools for a better life, not an escape from life. Requires intention, balance.
Well said. Integrating focus periods into a well-rounded life.
Okay, so let's recap this deep dive. The idea that we're great multitaskers. Mostly a myth. It's really inefficient task switching that costs us.
Right. Drains energy, increases errors.
But the alternative, intentionally cultivating single focus, can unlock that amazing state of flow.
Leading to better results, less stress, more satisfaction.
And we talked about concrete strategies you can use. Time blocking, finding your MIT, killing distractions, using rituals, taking breaks, and delegating.
It's about shifting from being reactive to proactively directing your attention.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you to mull over. Given that potential, maybe small risk of getting too lost in the zone, maybe using focus to tune out the rest of the world, how can you intentionally build these powerful moments of deep focus into your day, reaping all those benefits we discussed, while also making sure you stay balanced, connected to the people and world around you, and engaged with life beyond just the task at hand?
It's about finding that healthy rhythm, isn't it? Between deep engagement and broad connection.
A great challenge to consider. Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive.
My pleasure. Great discussion.